Okay, teacher, back again. Alright. Industrial disease. Unknown industrial disease and domestic violence. You're going, what the hell, Rachel? What are you talking about? I'll use my, I don't like to say, okay, straight up. My family, when my mum had a child, she was only 17. She had help and support from her families, and they were able to provide them jobs, they were able to provide them housing. But somewhere along that way, Australian life got changed in a way to, modern Australian life I'm talking about here, got changed in a way to where more government-based help system. So by the time I was able to have children, I had plans for them. I did. Me and the father had major plans for him, but I didn't realise the father had major mental health problems. He is a little bit Indigenous. He does have a problem with religion. He has a lot of mental health problems to deal with, and I sort of understood that at first, but I took his pain and suffering on without really seeing what outer effects it was going to do to the children and the outer community. And I was advised to become his carer, and our relationship as a mother and father broke, and I became his mental health carer. And as time, and with mental health, with anyone who has a loved one or a family member that is has mental health problems, understands it's definitely not a black and white world, and you have to there's a fine line between abuse and care. And I'm not going to get into this too much, I'm just going to get into a little sample because I think it shows a lot of how we as a community can really help each other more than what we're doing now, and we're missing a lot. We have 4 children, and pretty much there was this one instance, as soon as the children got to school, there was an instance where I tried to get people to understand their father's mental health, and no one listened to me or understood. And he did start causing some problems in the outer community, but they all knew about the problems that were happening in our home. But that wasn't an issue. It was what the outer community was complaining about. They were writing letters to all the government agencies, and eventually we kept on being moved around. And it's a bloody miracle we all survived to this day. But I was in about, I think it was around 2007, 2009, I can't remember. I was looking back at some paperwork that had been done. There's an agency, Children, Family, Community Services, where they take care for children if the parents can't. And sometimes they might get a report and they have to go in and talk to the children secretly behind the parents' back. And they were asking my children about their names and if I had any, and what I was doing at home, any clairvoyancy or any spiritual, because my children have unique names. I've got 3 boys and 1 girl, and especially with my youngest, I like the name Orion from Ireland, but I thought it was a bit common with the way it's spelt, so I changed the spelling. And me being naive, didn't realise the way I spelt it was Orion, the star. So there was a lot of gossip and assumptions in these reports about how the children were being brought up, but you could read what the children were saying was that was silly. The only thing that really upset them at home was when their brother turned off the PlayStation, and just silly stuff. And no one listened to the children, and all these assumptions became around my family, and no one listened to the doctor's reports, and the chain reaction was intense throughout the community. So I'm not complaining at all, because it's just life. Because on one side of the fence, the people that work in these offices, they have to follow through on reports, because if something really bad happens, they're the ones that are held responsible at the end of the day. But really, it's how the community interacts with each other, with their ownership. As soon as people found out, in our home, and we were Department of Housing tenants, that's when the trouble began. I understand people work very hard to own their homes, but there's also people that haven't been given a chance and given that platform to work hard, and they just need a helping hand and a little step up. And from that, I had to try my best to try and teach my children there's a sense of community out there, and not to go against, and not to hate, and not to divide themselves from the outside world. Now that's just a little bit, that's my little story. So imagine that times a million, all individually, uniquely, but the same. And you have a big problem. That's why here in Australia we have a major problem with poverty, jail rates, and it's going to get worse. Just look up north, look at their problems. They haven't found any solutions. They just go to war every time they need a solution. So I think being in Australia, we can do a little bit better than that. And maybe before we decide what's good for a person, talk to that person. Maybe it'll be hard at first because they're so emotionally ranting, but wait till they cool down. Maybe talk to them and help them out. And I think we all have that little problem in a way in our lives. So industrial disease, that's in a simple view, and it makes you sick, and people get sick, and now we've got a massive big problem with our health system, and we just keep on building buildings, and that's all we're doing without really thinking or looking into the effects of not being able to uniquely adapt to each other as a family first before we get into the money world. That's my version of that's why that song's helped me a lot through life, because it's helped me understand that I haven't been so lonely in those views. It's a crazy world out there, and even now with the viruses and everything that's going around, one way we've opened our world up to each other and it's good, but in another way, in a money sense, but in another way we don't understand each other's cultures or understand each other's on the social sense. So I think to help, we need to have a look and really understand that we're not alone, and we're not here just for one and all, we're here for each other, and whatever happens in our life is going to affect another life, and it's going to, and the only thing I think we can do is in that small simple ways. It's just not to be malice, not to be spiteful, not to be nasty. Like a lot of people's lives could have been made so much easier if people just weren't nasty and gossiped and made up lies just to try and make them right? It doesn't make sense. So this is industrial disease. Next we get onto Masters of War and My Secret Song, which hopefully tidies it all up. And please, anyone out there, if you are in some sort of relationship of ownership or control, just do your best to survive each day. You're not a victim, you're a survivor. And there are people out there in the community that can help you. They just need to take the time. And that's a lesson I learned. So, have a good day, YouTube. Hopefully, we can have a brighter future. And all dance the blues way. That'll be nice. And work hard at being nice to each other instead of nasty. And trying to outbeat each other with, I'm a better person and you're better than me. Because that's just stupid. So no matter where you are, just understand you're a unique, lovely person. So try and share and care and not destroy more. Bye, YouTube.